Welcome. I'm Jesus Contreras with Hi-Res Homes, and we're proud to be a sponsor of today's session about Facebook and Instagram with Suzanne Honken. Suzanne Honken is a realtor and a social media marketing professional. She has had an entrepreneurial spirit and a drive to succeed from a very early age. By the time she turned 30, Suzanne had owned and sold several successful businesses, including an online real estate marketing agency consisting of 9 rockstar team members. In 2013, Suzanne was hired by Realtor.com, a national real estate listings website, and within 6 months was promoted to director and later as senior director of social media marketing. Within 2 years, Suzanne grew her team from just herself to a powerhouse of 10. After 6 years of leading the social media marketing team, Suzanne is now back to running her own online marketing company and has joined the amazing team at eXp Realty, and continuing to bring value through her expertise in social media and conversational marketing strategies. Suzanne is the mother of 3 grown children, 2 boys and a girl, along with 3 furry animals too. Welcome, Suzanne.
Hello. So thank you, Gina, very much for having me here today. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Suzanne.
Fabulous. Great. So thanks so much for being here again. I really appreciate it. I am located now in California, so this is way early for me. I'm usually still drinking my second coffee at this point, so please don't ask me too hard questions because I may just not be able to answer them yet. But I actually used to live in Sarasota for 7 years, and I was in Florida for 14. I moved to Sarasota in 2001, about 2 weeks before 9/11 from Canada. And the first week that I lived there, we had Tropical Storm Gabrielle that came through, and all of my boxes were flooded. And then the following week was 9/11, and I thought to myself, you know, maybe I made the wrong choice of moving to Florida. But anyway, after that, everything went much smoother, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I'm a huge lover of Sarasota and the area, so it's my pleasure to be here this morning and talk to you all. And I just wanted to give Jessica Peterson a shout out for giving me this opportunity to speak to you all today. So thank you. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to share my presentation first and run through that. And then I'm going to actually give you a live demo of a platform that I'm currently using, and that's a bonus. I have not shared this with practically anybody. I'm the only person doing real estate marketing that has access to this. So, and the good news is it's only available in 5 states currently, and Florida is one of them. So let's get started. And here, and here. All right. So we're going to get into social media this morning with a pretty deep dive. So get your pens and papers ready. The gentleman who was sponsoring this already went through who I am, but that's me there. When I was 6, grew up in England. We had to wear these awful uniforms at school. I graduated. I have a degree in criminal psychology. Was a PI for a little while, did police academy, nothing to do with marketing whatsoever. But I decided that being a criminal psychologist was not the right choice for me. So after I had 3 kids who are now much older than this, I was part of Tech Savvy Agent, if anybody remembers that, back in 2008 when Facebook kind of started. I joined Chris Smith and Steve Passanelli, and we created Tech Savvy Agent. And many people knew Chris, knew Steve, but didn't really know who I was. And that was because I, as I am now, was working in the background behind the curtain, as it were, and was doing all of the blog posts and creating the social content for it. And so, yeah, I was kind of like the woman behind the curtain. So anyway, so that was fun for a couple of years. And then I was hired by Realtor.com to lead their social media marketing team in 2013. And then I finally, after 18 years doing real estate marketing, I got my license, and I'm now with EXP. So today we're going to go through profiles versus pages. This may seem like a little elementary. However, I still do get questions about what's the difference between the two, and what they're called and why we have them. So I'm just going to run through that pretty quickly. Then we're going to talk about promoting and boosting posts and what the right way and wrong way of doing it is, so that you don't waste your money. And then how to maximize Instagram stories. And this should actually be Instagram/Facebook, because we also have Facebook stories. I can tell you that Instagram stories and Facebook stories get more engagement and people responding than my actual posts. So it's super, super important that we utilize stories. And then I'm going to go through just a little bit about conversational marketing. One of the things that I started doing as soon as we went live was acknowledging people that were on this training session this morning. And I'm going to talk a bit about what that means. And then finally, we're going to be talking about an exclusive Facebook neighborhood marketing. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, this is something that is not available pretty much anywhere else. Everybody is still having to do a 15-mile radius for their ads. They're not able to do this type of really focused advertising on Facebook and Instagram, but I know how you can do it. All right. So let's talk about profiles and pages. Oh, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will be looking at them, or Gina will be providing me with them at the end. So please stick around so that I can answer those for you. All right, so your profile on Facebook looks like this. You'll know that it's your profile because it's going to ask you what's on your mind. Suzanne is going to have this stuff over here that I've highlighted in yellow with your newsfeed, messenger, marketplace. This is what your profile page looks like. You cannot do advertising from your profile. You may see other realtors or other companies with their ads on your profile, but that's done on your business page. So your profile is really somewhere that you want to be talking to other people. And your page is for other things. So you can also find your page over on the right-hand side if you have one. And on your page, you can get here by clicking on this down arrow button, and it will have a drop down of all of your pages that you may have. And you'll know that you're on your page because it will say the name of your page on the top left. It'll have your business image on the left, and it will have this bar here for people to like it, follow, and share your page. So this is known as your business page. Your advertising is done through here, and it's the 100% rule. So when I say 100% rule, this is where you talk shop. This is where you discuss everything to do with your business. This is where you talk about your community. This is where you create relationships with potential and existing clients. You can also do that on your profile, but my rule on profile is 90% personal and 10% business. So just keep that in mind. Just think of your profile as being a place where you're talking with friends and not pushing your business. And your business page is where you talk about your business. You can share your posts from your business page to your profile. And I really recommend doing that because that also brings attention to the fact that you have this page and you'll get more followers. So what should you post on your personal profile? Again, 90% personal, 10% professional. Imagine having an offline conversation. So let's say I'm at a barbecue and I go up to somebody that I've never met before and I say, I just sold the house on 123 Smith Street. That would be a weird thing to say, right? Wouldn't you normally say, hi, how are you doing? Tell me about yourself, right? You're having a conversation. So it's the same online as it is offline. Have a conversation with people. So this is going to make you, your eyes water looking at this pool, right? I mean, it's really awful looking. Well, this is my house. And my house here in California was built by one of the C-levels at Microsoft back in the 80s. And we're surrounded by trees, and we're up on a hill, and he wanted it to look natural. He wanted it to kind of meld in with the surroundings. So he painted the walls, or had the walls of his pool painted green. Worst thing in the world. I can't stand it. And so I decided to post a picture of it to my personal profile and asked, how do you feel about this? And people responded. I got 39 comments, and people also said that it was absolutely disgusting. So, so that's an example of how you can, talk. I'm talking about my house, right? So that's kind of real estate focused, but you're having a conversation. When people come over to my house, they're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with your pool? And so, it's a topic of conversation. So just think about it as being an offline conversation. So engage with others. Don't just like a post, like actually have a conversation with them. Leave a comment, ask them a question. Don't be afraid to just kind of put yourself out there and start conversing with people. And then also check in with people privately. We have the ability to use Facebook Messenger, and it's a great way to kind of just pick somebody once a day and go in there and say, hey, I was just checking in to see how you're doing. You don't have to say, wondering if you're looking to sell your house. No, don't do that. Just check in and make sure that they're doing okay. And it's the same kind of way as you sending, your newsletter out every quarter. You're checking in with people. It's a touch. So use your messenger to do that too. And then finally, use your stories. Like I said before, they're really, really effective to get in front of more people than you would even imagine. I often get 250 people to see my story. And of those 250, I get, a good handful of people actually reaching out to me because of that story. Finally, I highly recommend staying neutral as best you can, especially in the environment that we're in currently. Everything you post can be screen captured. Realtors have been fired from typing things on their profile that is not widely acceptable in whatever form that looks like. And so please just keep in mind that you never know who's taking a screen capture of what you're saying. All right, so here's a pro tip. So like I was saying before we actually started this presentation, I was checking in with people, saying hi, and I do that when I get a new friend request. And I highly recommend that you do this too. So when you like somebody on Facebook, be prepared to actually, when they accept your friend request, you should actually say thank you, right? And that's a prime opportunity to get to know them. And so when I get a new friend request, I actually have a shortcut on my Mac. When I type in NFR, which is new friend request, it pulls up this, this text, and I just put in her name, and this is what I say. And I ask her what brought her my way. And the hope is that when people, friend request me, they'll actually respond. Well, there was crickets. And this is from 2019, and she still hasn't responded to me, but she's not alone. That happens all the time. Well, this lady, she's very close to me. She's up in San Francisco. And again, I said the same thing. And she responded like pretty soon afterwards. And, she's like, I should know you. I'm on a mission to know the best women in real estate. Plus we are practically neighbors. I spend most of my non-travel time in San Jose. And so we've already got something in common, right? We're already talking, we're already acting like we kind of know each other a little bit. So make sure that you respond to people Make sure that you reach out after somebody accepts your friend request. Don't send them an invite to your page. Whenever I see that, I unfriend people. And the reason for that is because A, I don't know you. And if you're going to try and make me follow something straight away, I'm thinking you're only in this for yourself. And two, it's just not something that you would do offline. Every time I do something, I think, would I do this offline? So that's my huge takeaway for today. If anything else, just think about that when you're posting. So when you're posting to your page, make sure you post everything that's to do with your business. People post about their dog. That's okay because it's nice for people to get to know you, but limit it, mix things up a little bit, but you can certainly do that. I'm sure I will too. Here's where you can put your listings, your pendings, your solds, your reduced, your opens, but you can also post about your community, and I'll talk about this a little bit later as well. You can promote local businesses, and here's an example of one that I did myself. I love supporting my local stores, especially in this pandemic. And so, you can talk about a favorite local establishment, tag them in the post, because then they'll know that you're talking about them. They'll get a notification saying, Browns Valley Napa just talked about you on this post, and then they may actually respond. So not only are you trying to build relationships with your followers on Facebook, on your business page, but you also now are reaching out and getting the attention of local businesses. So it's a 2-for-1. So, here you can see that this establishment thanked us for, calling them out and talking about them on our page. Create Facebook events for your virtual open houses. I've seen lots of agents do this, and it's been really successful for them. You can also cross-promote your events to your personal profile in a group if you have one. And then you can do a similar thing with Facebook Live. Your virtual open houses can be live, right? So there's a couple of different ways to really get more attention to your events for your virtual open houses. A virtual open house basically is you go to the property and you have your phone and you walk around the house and give a tour. Of course, you want to make arrangements with the homeowner to do that, but they're going to be absolutely thrilled that you are thinking outside the box and doing that for them. I'm not sure how it is in Florida right now, but we are still on a complete lockdown here in Silicon Valley, and we have been except for 2 days since March 16th. Examples of page posts. So again, ask questions, right? Get people involved and engaging. And this example is actually a property that in a new construction, new development, that this company, Abbott Realty Services, was selling. So they're using their home that they're trying to sell in their post, asking a question. So it's, again, another 2-for-1, right? So you don't have to use like a stock image. Use your own picture, right? Use one of your properties. And you can also do your market report updates every month. Give people some great information about what's going on in your community. And again, I'll be talking about this a little later. So here's some page do's and don'ts. So do encourage engagement, because the more people engage, the more reach you will get. So let me say that a different way. If people are commenting or sharing your content, Facebook will show it to more people. So ask questions, but then also remember to respond. If somebody comes up to you offline and asks you a question and you just stare at them, well, that would be weird. So when somebody asks a question or you ask a question, then they respond, then you need to respond to them too, right? Don't make statements. Don't use closed-ended sentences. That's not going to elicit an engaged conversation. And don't use paragraphs. People are very, very short time span people these days. And so, writing tons of information about something, nobody's going to read it. Okay, one person out of 1,000 may actually read it. So I really, I've learned a lot when I worked for Realtor.com for 6 years. And we really figured out that using 1 or 2 sentences max on your page posts is all you should have. Definitely use emojis if it makes sense, that grabs people's attention, but don't use paragraphs because nobody's going to read it and you're really just wasting your time. And then also don't drive traffic off of Facebook every time. So as you noticed in my previous slide, we're just asking very simple questions, right? And so that can be done on Facebook. If you imagine Facebook being your website, would you want to do all this work to get people to your website and then drive people away? Of course not. So think about it as if it's your own website. You're going to want people to stay on there and engage with you, and that's what Facebook wants. And the last thing about Facebook pages is YouTube is actually Facebook's #1 competitor. So if you create a video and you then post that video directly from YouTube onto Facebook, very, very, very few people are going to see it because it's their competitor. So when you post your videos that you create for YouTube, you're going to want to create that page post with your video directly from your computer. That way you'll get much more engagement and much more views. Many people don't know that, so it's a good one to put into practice. So some of the tools that I use are very basic tools, but they are very efficient at providing you with ways to get really engaging posts that stand out. It's available at canva.com. I think many of you have already heard of it, but may not use it on a regular basis. It's available on mobile. I use it on my phone quite often because it's really quick to pull up something, create it, and get it out there. I have premium credits if you guys are interested in getting more of their offerings and features. And I will be sharing this presentation with everybody afterwards through Gina. So this link will take you to those credits. So this is an example of how quickly you can create a really eye-catching video through Canva. On the left here, you'll see that there's templates already created. So really you just choose one and then you upload an image of your home, pull it over, replace the image that was there, change out the text, and you can change the size of the text, super easy. You can also include these moving pieces of, they're called, what are they called? Stickers. And that grabs people's attention. And literally, because you're using a template and you're just pulling in the image of your house, changing out the text, you're done in, well, for me, like 30 seconds. But if you're just getting used to it, it really doesn't take long either. Here's a few more examples of some ads that I created, utilizing a video that I created from Google Earth, putting it into the ad, really, really engaged results from that. And then also thinking about different times throughout the year and how you can create content that's really different from the average posts that you see for the different holidays throughout the year. And this one had like a thriller type sound in the background. So you can get really creative with Canva. Of course, this is not included, but you can create this so it looks like she's walking on the text of your post. You just have to think outside the box a little. All right, so Later is another tool that I use, and it's also available on mobile. And this allows you to schedule content on Facebook and Instagram, but it also allows you to create content to post to stories and schedule them. So this is not something that you can find pretty much anywhere else. I've looked at tons of different social media management tools, and I've only found that Later allows for this. So stories, as I said, are super, super important. Here's an example of creating a story and scheduling it for later. You upload your media, you drag it over to the day and approximate time that you want. You can change it so that it's a different day in the future and the time, and you're done. You save the story, it gets uploaded to your phone at that time, and then you simply just publish it. So it's a great, great tool to use, highly recommend it. I believe it's free for your first social platform. All right, so the last tool that I use is called wave.video. And it's really, really easy to use. You just drag in either videos and or images. You can do this for properties. And they instantly resize to about 30 different social formats, including Facebook and Instagram posts, ads, and stories. Saves a ton of time, and it's really engaging content. Here's an example, and it's going to play some music, so I won't be talking for a minute. But again, you just upload footage. You can add text overlays, even music, your logo, and post. All right, so let's move on to promoting and boosting posts. So most agents will boost a post directly from their Facebook page. Super easy. You just click the boost button, add some money to it, choose some detailed targeting, and you're done, right? Well, it's in my circle of social media, and also having the relationship that I did with Facebook, I would have meetings with them every month. They would come to our office and give us tools and tips and new features that they were launching. And they told us that boosting a post is for quick and dirty kind of ad, but it's not going to get you the same results as using your business manager and your ads account. So it's really a lazy way of doing it, and the results that you get from it are going to be diminished. And so I do not recommend boosting posts. I do not recommend boosting posts. You're going to see about a 10x cost per result than you will if you use your ads manager. So I could say it again, but please don't boost posts. It's not doing you any favors. What you should be doing is promoting your ads through the ads account manager. So you need to set up your business manager if you haven't already. And even though for the majority of us, there's the 15-mile radius that you have to use to target an audience, there are still 80 or more real estate-based targeting that you can implement in your ads. I've got a link here to a page on my website that gives you an entire list of what that looks like. And here's a little snapshot of some of them. So and it's also color coded. So, maybe you want to be targeting to sellers, right? So sellers are going to be more interested in home construction, home improvement, interior design, renovation, those kind of things, versus people that are looking to get their first starter home, right? That's more of a first-time home buyer interest. So you can utilize these interests in the ads manager so that you are focusing on specific types of people. And it's super helpful just to kind of weed out other people that really just are going to have absolutely no interest whatsoever. Again, this will be provided through that link when we share this presentation with you. To set up your business manager, if you have not done it already, or if you want to check to see if you have, simply go to business.facebook.com/overview. And if you haven't, you just click on the create account, and it's extremely simple to set up. And once you've set it up, you can access that through your business page. So I'm huge on video, as you probably have seen already. Video gets about 6x of the results that you want than static images. So the more you can utilize things like Canva, wave.video, you're going to have better results with your posts. So here we did a video ad to bring attention to this house. It was a 45-second video. I recommend, if you're going to do video ads, keep them under a minute. My preference is 15 seconds. So people's ability to stay focused is very much diminished. I remember back in the day, they used to say that it was less than what a goldfish is. And I think that's pretty accurate, especially for me. So make sure that your videos are short and sweet. But even with this 45-second video, we got the cost per 10-second view was 0.01 cent. And of the 45-second video, 46 people watched the entire 100% video, which is pretty phenomenal for a 45-second video. And again, I used wave.video for this. All right, to get the idea. So here's a couple of examples of seller lead form ad results that we are seeing. So again, this is a lead form that you can create through your ads manager. You can't do this by boosting a post. This got 20 leads, and the cost was under $1, seller leads. And the cost, the click-through rate on this ad was 10%. Here's, I showed this video earlier, the Crocker Highlands animated video. This got $1.88 per seller lead. So super cheap, and only can do this through your ads manager. All right, I know there's questions, but I will answer them at the end. So thank you very much for the questions, but let's keep going. So how should you maximize your Instagram stories? So as you know, Instagram stories takes up the entire screen of a mobile, and this is the dimensions. And you know, talk about real estate, right? I mean, how can you miss this, right? So you've got tons and tons of screen to really play with. And this stats was from January. You can see here that the most people that are on stories is between the ages of 25 and 34. And if you think about who is buying their home for the first time, you've got a great audience right here. 120 million approximately daily US users of Instagram stories. So definitely a huge audience there. Here's a fun fact. The #1 liked image on Instagram is this egg. So bizarre. Anyway, I like sharing that because it's just weird. Here's an example of a story that I created, which these are the 3 different panels, and we can talk about providing value by just talking about how to stage a home. And this again was created on wave.com. And at the end, I give the agent's information. So super engaging. And again, you've got 1 to 2 sentences on each one. Sorry, wave.video is where I created this. So provide value in your stories. People love value. But you also can drive engagement with your stories. So if people engage with you, they're going to remember you more. There's a couple of ways, or actually there's a lot of ways that you can use the various different stickers that are included for your real estate business. One of the things that I like to do is call attention to people clicking on your profile button at the top here. And that button will take them to your profile on Instagram. And I'm going to show you why that's important and why you should utilize that call to action in your stories. So just a little bit of movement, but calling people to this is what you should be doing sometimes with your stories. A couple more examples and how you can use this to be more engaging is taking an image of your own property, right? And or somebody else's that you get permission for, or even a stock image is fine. The idea is just to get people to engage with you. And so a simple question, do you love open concept? People respond to that. And then, guess the listing price. Another great way, a little hint of where it's located, because this house can probably range between, $1 million and 50 million, depending on where it is in the US. So I use Unfold to create my stories. Unfold is a free, and they also have a paid version. And they actually have a ton of different layouts that you can choose from. You simply choose a layout, you upload a picture, and you are done. So this is the view from my house. It's super easy. It's giving it some interesting look to it, and you're done. So super great for really making your stories stand out instead of just plopping a picture in there. So one of the things that Stories allows you to do is there's a swipe up feature. And so if you're looking at a story and maybe it's a celebrity, right? And they have a swipe up so you can go and see, or a paid ad of a particular product and they want you to go and buy their product and they have a swipe up at the bottom. Well, you can only have that if it's either a paid ad or if you have more than 10,000 followers. So I don't know about you, but I don't have 10,000 followers. It takes a long, long time to build up your following. Who's going to spend that kind of time when you have real estate to sell? So there is a trick to encourage people to follow you. And there also is a way to get around this to get people to actually go to your website. So I'm going to show you how that's done. So again, earlier I showed you that getting people to click on your profile button in your story will bring them to your profile in Instagram, right? So that's the first thing. Bring attention to get people to do this. I often will write on here, click to learn more. And that way they know that they should be going there. I mean, you have to lay out exactly what you want people to do sometimes, right? So when they get to your page, they're going to see all of these posts that you've done. But if you click on them, you're just going to see the post. But when you click on this linkedin.bio link in the profile, it's going to take you to this screen, still in Instagram. But now each of these images, which is exactly what you see on your profile, each of them is clickable and will take you to your whatever page you want them to go and look at. So if it's a picture of a listing that you've just listed, by clicking on this image, it actually will take them to that listing. So this is a way to get around it. You can also include a link to your website or whatever you want them to go to, which lives up there all the time. And this is created within Later, which I showed you earlier about how you can schedule your Instagram stories. And so this is what Later's back end looks like. And so you simply will choose the image from your profile that you've placed, and then put the link right here, which is going to determine what people go to when they click on that image. It's super, super easy. And this is what the link looks like right here on the profile. So there is a way around getting people to go to your website through Instagram. Again, it's later.com, and I use this for all my clients. All right, so what is conversational marketing? Conversational marketing is when you talk to people. So we used to, send mail. We still send mail, but we used to use like a Rolodex and an old computer and, the phone. But now we've got this mobile phone where we can talk to people all day, every day, super easy. It takes 1 second to reach out. It takes 2 seconds for people to reach out to you to want to go and see a house or have a virtual tour. And so we want to be conversational in social. And it's kind of like a no-brainer, right? Because what does the word social mean? It means conversing with other people, right? So one of the ways in which is super easy to be really personal in your conversations is by using people's names. But there's a trick to it. You know, when you're on Facebook and you're responding to somebody and it pops up their name when you're responding to them, right? So you're replying to them. And so instead of just leaving their entire name in your response, you can delete their last name and just leave their first name. And which one feels more personal, right? Nobody's going to come up to you and say, "Hey, Suzanne Hawken," right? It's just not a natural thing to do. So let's make it more natural and get rid of their last name. I know it's a very silly thing, but it actually is very impactful. And one of the things that we did in our chat before I started was people were saying hi to me. They didn't include my last name, right? So super easy. You can just delete their last name and it still keeps their tag there. And here's an example. I type in their name, it pops up, I choose the one that I want, delete their last name, and that's it. Super easy. All right. So let's talk about having offline interactions online. So asking questions again is how you converse with your audience. And so we want to encourage people to respond. And so taking pictures off of wherever you find your pictures. Somebody shared this with me, and so they gave me permission to use it. But what's wrong with this kitchen? And 22 people responded, and it reached almost 800 people because there was comments. And why would you have these on this side instead of the other side? How are you going to open that door? There's a lot wrong with this picture. So doing fun things to get people to engage is what the moral of the story is. And again, people love these shows. So ask, what's your favorite reality TV show around houses? People will respond. So have a conversation. Here's some another pro tip for you. Do not ever use these words on Facebook. Click. Don't use that word. Don't type that word ever. Like. Don't tell people to like something. That's not natural. And share. Do not ask people to share your content. The reason why is because through my conversations with Facebook, when they see this in your post, they will not have your post seen by very many people because it's not a natural conversation. Facebook is all about conversing in a natural way. You're not going to go up to somebody offline and say, like this, right? You're just not. So what should you use instead? So you can say, instead of, click the link below, you would say visit, right? Or you could say check out, but don't use the word like, don't ask people to share, because Facebook will hide it from people seeing it. I sometimes will say, tap below, or tell me what you think of whatever. So if you're asking somebody to respond to you, don't say comment below, say respond with your favorite blah, 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 right? There's other words to use that are not flagged. And even in videos, if you say to people, share this or like below, Facebook won't show it to very many people. They can hear what you're saying and they will keep it from being seen. All right, now we're going into the juicy part of my presentation today. And I'm going to share a new screen. So let me go here and go to here. All right, so if I were to ask you if you would like to be able to advertise on Facebook and Instagram to specific areas that is less than a 15-mile radius, I'm thinking that most of you would put your hand up and say, yes, you would. In fact, why don't you say in the comments if that's something that you would want to do? So I'm thinking that a lot of people are going to want that. And I don't blame you, because when Facebook changed, Facebook was actually sued by the National Association of Realtors back in 2018, because they felt like they were, Facebook was being discriminatory in how they were, creating these ads targeting to, people that just make $1 million or more, or even, gender or race, those things were included, which goes against fair housing. And so, they implemented this 15-mile radius. And so I'm using a tool called the Genie. And if anybody is interested in this, I will ask you to please put your email in the comment section, and I will get you access. But first, I'm sure you're wanting to see what this is all about. So let me show you. And this is something that I'm using constantly, every day, day and night for my clients. It's only available in California, Nevada, Texas, Colorado, and Florida. And so you're one of the lucky ones that has access to this. And so if you can imagine, if you have all of the homeowners' names, emails, phone numbers, all of their demographic information, and you can advertise to them on Facebook and them alone on Facebook, it's pretty powerful. And so it's like going back 3 years. The reason why this is allowed is because it's your custom audience. And you basically would get the lists from this platform and download the list and then upload it to your ads manager or your business account and create a custom audience with that list of homeowners. And so every ad that you create with that custom audience, the only people that will see it are those homeowners. And it's pretty powerful. So let me show you an example of how this works. Let me see the time. I've got 10 minutes. So I'm just going to put in Lakewood Ranch as an example. And It's going to pull up. This is pulled directly from the MLS. So all the information that you see here is live. It's pulled directly from the MLS, and it's updated every day. And it's pulling in all the information pertaining to that neighborhood right now. It's quite a large neighborhood, so it's going to take a minute. But we're looking at the property types, single family and condo. You can also include multifamily homes, or you can get rid of the condos and just search for the single family homes in that neighborhood. So it's pulled up the approximate area of Lakewood Ranch. You can actually go into the map section and change the area by drawing it on a map. So say you just want to advertise to waterfront. You can draw a section that's right up against the water and just advertise to them. And as you can see here, it's giving all the details pertaining to Lakewood Ranch. It's showing me that there's 5,824 properties in that area. And it's giving me the top agent market share of Lakewood Ranch. So the top agent currently has 5% market share, and the top 5 has 12.71. So all of these numbers here make up a area score of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, and it's telling me that this is a 4. So basically it's telling me that there's pretty good opportunity to advertise to the entire area of Lakewood Ranch. And so that's probably something that I want to advertise to. If it's a 5, that's a no-brainer. I wouldn't go anything under a 4 because the lower the number, the less likely people are looking to sell. The velocity, which means how often people are moving in and out, is extremely high. I've actually never seen 20% before. You can also reduce the number of people that you're advertising to by removing anybody that's been in the home for less than 6 years. So if you imagine, if we go back to the filters, the average years in home is 4. Oh my gosh. Maybe you don't want to advertise to people that have only been there for 2 years, right? They've just moved in. They're not interested in moving again. You can remove those people and your count will go down so that you're also only advertising to people that are more likely to move. So once you have that list, you can then create content through their marketing hub with tons and tons of different pieces of creative. And again, you can choose as many different neighborhoods that you want to market to online as you want. These are some that are in California here, but it gives you the information pertaining to each of these neighborhoods, and it uploads the pricing, how it's gone up and by how much automatically. It gives you these visuals, and then you can have people download that market report that you can see right here. There's tons and tons of different pieces of marketing materials in the back end here. If you imagine how long it might take you to create a market report by pulling up information from the MLS, this would probably take you days. And instead of days, it's being done in a second. And you can put this on your website. You can put this in a ad, an organic post. You can send it in an email, that you can generate a PDF. You can generate a video, which I showed you earlier. And it just runs through it. Tons and tons of different pieces of content. And so I create an ad, and the ad will direct people to the market report. This is one that I showed you earlier that I created from Google Earth, and it's only being shown to that neighborhood. Only the people that live there, that are the homeowners, will see this ad. And so when they click on the Learn More button, they're going to fill in this form, the lead form. I'm seeing about 10% of people filling in this form. The average response in percentage for these type of forms is 1. And the reason for that is because they're not being advertised directly to the people that you want, and more people are seeing it that you don't want to see it, but these ads are only seen by those homeowners. So of course the number of clicks is going to be higher. When they fill in that lead form, they're going to be taken to either your website with the web embeds, which we do all of this work. You don't have to do this. I mean, you can do this if you're pretty tech savvy, but we also offer this through my company. And so you can create these market reports directly on your website. All of this is interactive. As you can see, the date has updated automatically, and the homeowners can go on here and change the date range, and the information will update automatically. That's same for all of these different sections. People can look and see what homes are currently being sold, the ones that are sold, and they can all be clicked on to be viewed directly on here. So tons and tons of great content is being pulled in without you having to do anything. And again, everything is clickable. It's very interactive. And at the bottom of the page, we can also include a way for them to have it downloaded and sent to them via email. And when they fill in this form, you again will be told, and now you know that not only did they click on your ad, but they also filled in this form as well because they want a copy of it. So that tells me that they're very much interested in the information that you're providing. And I see about 10% of people that come over to this page fill in this form. All right, so this is the kind of information that we're providing to our clients in Florida currently. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that you knew is that this is exclusive to each neighborhood and area. And I'll just go back to my presentation. We do not do this for more than one agent per area, whether that's a neighborhood, a zip code. Once we have it under contract, we don't sell it to anybody else, because if you can imagine 5 different agents providing the same information to the same neighborhood, it's going to really diminish the results. So we are exclusive. We're not Zillow. We're not Realtor.com. We're not going to give this to anybody but just the agent that wants it. And then it's done. So you can start advertising to just that neighborhood or neighborhoods, homeowners, again, on Facebook and Instagram. The minimum cost to do this is $329 a month per neighborhood. So that includes all what I just showed you and more. I'm not able to show you everything right now, but that's the minimum expense for what we do for you. There's no contract, but we do suggest at least a 3-month commitment to get some really good results. And the cost of the platform that I just showed you, the Genie, and the homeowner lists are separate. So I can give you a quote for that if you are interested. Again, it's something that's just not available otherwise. And the results that I'm seeing are tremendous. And yeah, so that's my little pitch on the platform that I'm using. You know, in the 18 years that I've been doing real estate marketing, I see a lot, and I know you guys do too. Now that I'm a realtor, I'm getting bombarded by platforms and tools and techniques, and this is the best way to do this, that, and the other. And it's like, wow, I mean, it's never ending. But in the 18 years that I've been doing real estate marketing, this is the most incredible platform that I've ever seen. And I wouldn't be promoting it if I didn't think that. So that is the end of my presentation. And again, I thank you very, very much for being with me today. And yeah, I would love to take any questions that you have. I am right on the dot of noon, so I know everybody wants to get some lunch too. But Gina, if you want to help me out with some of these questions, that would be great.
Sure. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here since we had quite a few people supply their email. We had a few people asking about Canva. Somebody was trying to clarify if that's the product that you use to add pictures and boxing and graphics like that, and if you can brand your post in Canva.
Yes, absolutely. So you can create video type content in Canva. Basically, it's really up to you and how creative you want to be. You upload your video, you upload your images, and you can upload your logo. So you can put your logo on your creative, no problem. You can have your picture in the background and then put your logo on top. So yes, Canva allows for video and still images. And then also those stickers are on there as well to create some motion and an animation with them. I hope that answers that question.
We also had someone ask about your Google Earth post and whether or not there were copyright issues should they choose to use a Google Earth video.
Yeah, I haven't come across any issues with using Google Earth. I don't know of any copyright issues. If you find any, let me know, but I did not come across any copyright issues.
All right, and then moving on to business pages. Clarissa asked, how can you send a request to like your business page a second time? And if they did like your page already, how do you get more people to see your business page?
That's a great question. So if somebody does not accept the request for you for them to like your page, then you can ask them again. If they don't ever respond to that accept or decline invitation, it will kind of just sit there. So that answers that question. And then if they did like your page already, how do you get more people to see your business page? So that can be done by sharing your business page posts onto your profile on Facebook. So there's a share button at the bottom of your post. And then when you click on it, it's going to have a pop-up and you're going to choose personal profile and it'll show your little picture at the top and you click on that and then you can type something to tell people what your post is about. And then when they click on it, it will take them over to your business page. Another way is to talk about it on your profile. So you can say, hey guys, if you live in XYZ neighborhood, I'm sharing really great, valuable information on my page. Would love for you to check it out. And if you have anything you'd like to share on there, let me know. Those kind of things.
And then we had another question. Do you see Ellen's question about her?
Yeah, I have 5,000 friends, admin 24 other Facebook pages, including my real estate biz page, but it only has 40 likes followers. Do I really want to grow that page or just do most of my lives on the individual personal, or should I focus on growing the biz page? Wow, Ellen, that's a lot of pages, 24 business pages. But your real estate biz page only has 40 likes and followers. Gosh, well, one of the things that I always recommend is instead of trying to be everywhere for everyone, you're going to dilute the results that you get. And so pick one platform and one page and or two platforms and 2 pages max. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to keep up with it for the long run, and you'll probably give up, and then you've just wasted all that time that you spent. So for me in real estate, if you are using Facebook and you're using Instagram, you're hitting really the majority of people. You're going to be hitting the older demographics on Facebook, and on Instagram, you're going to be hitting the younger demographic. So those are the 2 platforms that I recommend. If you only want to do one of those 2, think about the demographic in your neighborhood or in the area that you are trying to market in and choose the right one. So when it comes to your Facebook pages, I think that you have way too many. And I think that you probably just need to focus on the ones that you're trying to build your business with. All right, Susan says, would you say the same for YouTube, not use click share or in videos? Okay, you answered that. So what do you say on video? Sure. So, you know, it's really just removing those words from your vocabulary when you're doing social media. So instead of saying, you know, click below, you would say tap the button, or if you really love this, I would love for you to invite other people to see this video, right? One of the things that I do on my videos on YouTube is I have a pop-up, and it has a call to action where it says subscribe, and you probably have seen other people do that. And it's like an animation. If you have that, then you don't have to say it, because that animation is there giving them a call to action to subscribe or like your video. So that's another way to go around it. And I can tell you where you can grab one of those animations if you're interested.
I see a few more here. Somebody asked about, do you know, I think it's called Ripple, RIPL, to create videos. What do you think about that? Do you know anything about it?
I've heard of Ripple. You know, when I find something that really works for me and it does everything I want it to do, then I kind of stick with it. So I have heard of it, but I've never used it. So I can't tell you whether it's something that is better. I kind of just like to stay within, you know, the lines that I create for myself and stay there, but check it out.
And for those who are asking if this was recorded, yes, it was. It'll be available and shortly after the conference, and we will notify you all when it is available.
Great. And then it looks like a lot of people were asking for the information on the Genie. Really appreciate everybody being here. Is it okay to invite your friends to like your business page? Of course. I mean, why not? Absolutely. Most of my friends on Facebook are realtors, so it makes sense for me. But yeah, absolutely. The more the merrier, I say. Are stories only seen by your friends? Yes, stories are only seen by your friends. The only time stories are not seen by your friends is if you do an ad. And you can't boost an ad, a story. And I don't recommend that you boost anything. Let me see here. How can you best use groups? Great question. So I didn't go into groups today because I didn't have time. But groups is great simply because it allows other people to post things, as you know, whereas pages do not. People can only comment on something that you've posted. And so when I create a page for one of my clients, I also create a group and I promote that on my page. And that gets people over to the group. So groups are great if you want to start to engage with local businesses, you know, and encourage them to post about any specials that they may be having. Those kind of things really work well with groups if you're thinking of doing something for your neighborhood. I know we're running out of time. How do you take a Facebook Live video and convert to have on YouTube? So what I normally do, I use a platform called Ecamm. So that's ECAMM. And you can actually create a video that goes live on Facebook and on YouTube. So check out Ecamm. And that's one way you can do it. The other trick that has been used in the past before I had Ecamm was I use a tool called, what's it called? I can't remember. I'll have to tell you when I think of it, but it allows me to do a screenshot of my video on Facebook. And instead of it being a screenshot, it's a video that I can record, and it's kind of a cheat, just recording that space and then saving that to my computer as an MP4. I wish I could remember the name of it, but if you give me your email address, I can send it over to you. Jessica, that's easy to do. Have you used PicMonkey? It's very similar to PicMonkey, to Canva, yes. And I have used it. The problem is I've used Canva for so long that I find it difficult to transfer over to PicMonkey. But no, PicMonkey is also a really great platform. I'm not sure if it's cheaper than Canva. Canva's like $10 or something for all the features that you can get, but they do also have a free version. I think that's it.